Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Kimmel, and today we are witnessing a legal showdown involving Donald Trump that has no real precedent in modern American history. Donald Trump has officially lost his final Supreme Court appeal to block the release of his financial records. This time, the court didn't just say no. It issued a direct and unmistakable order: comply within 72 hours or face contempt of court with possible jail time on the table. Let that sink in for a moment. The highest court in the United States is now openly warning a former president that continued defiance of judicial authority will bring real consequences. This is not political theater. This is the rule of law asserting itself in the strongest terms possible. So how did we get here? This legal battle stretches all the way back to 2019, when the Manhattan District Attorney subpoenaed years of Donald Trump's tax returns and financial documents as part of a criminal investigation into potential bank fraud, insurance fraud, and tax violations. From the start, Trump refused to comply. His legal team argued presidential immunity. They claimed executive privilege. They insisted the investigation was politically motivated. And when those arguments failed, they turned to a strategy Trump has relied on for decades: delay, appeal, repeat. The case reached the Supreme Court in 2020. Trump lost. The court ruled clearly that presidents are not above the law. But even after that ruling, Trump's lawyers continued filing motions, emergency applications, and procedural challenges that dragged the process out for years. That strategy finally collapsed when Trump's accounting firm, Mazars USA, informed the court that it would comply with the subpoena unless a new court order blocked them. At that point, Trump's legal team made one last attempt to stop the documents by filing what they called an emergency stay with the Supreme Court. The court rejected it forcefully. In its denial, the Supreme Court stated that Trump's filing raised no new legal arguments, recycled claims already rejected multiple times, and appeared designed solely to delay compliance. The court warned that further obstruction would not be tolerated. Then came the deadline. The court ordered that the financial records be produced within 72 hours, not days, not weeks, hours. The timeline was deliberately structured to prevent any additional delay tactics. Legal experts immediately pointed out how unusual the language of this order was. Supreme Court rulings are usually restrained and technical. This one was direct, firm, and final. And here's why that matters. Contempt of court is not symbolic. Civil contempt is designed to force compliance through fines and escalating penalties. Criminal contempt is designed to punish defiance, and it can involve jail time regardless of whether compliance eventually happens. The court explicitly referenced both. In other words, this is not a situation Trump can simply outspend or outwait. Trump now faces two choices. He can comply with the order and turn over financial records he has spent years fighting to keep hidden records that could expose serious legal vulnerabilities. Or he can defy the Supreme Court and risk becoming the first former president in U.S. history jailed for contempt. Neither option protects him. If he complies, prosecutors gain access to years of financial data that may reveal inconsistencies between what Trump told banks, insurers, tax authorities, and business partners. That kind of discrepancy is often the foundation of financial fraud cases. If he defies the court, the consequences escalate immediately: criminal contempt charges, enforcement actions, and a constitutional crisis unlike anything the country has faced before. This moment also exposes the collapse of Trump's long-standing legal strategy. For decades, delay worked. It worked in civil cases. It worked during his presidency. But it no longer works when the Supreme Court itself decides that the integrity of the judicial system is at stake. The court made that clear when it stated that allowing any individual, regardless of power or political influence, to endlessly defy lawful subpoenas would undermine public confidence in equal justice under the law. That statement matters. It means this case is no longer just about Donald Trump's finances. It's about whether the legal system can compel accountability from someone who has built an entire public identity around resisting it. The political implications are just as serious. Compliance risks damaging Trump's image as a fighter who never backs down. Defiance risks alienating voters who still believe in respecting court authority. Either path carries consequences that extend deep into the upcoming election cycle. Meanwhile, prosecutors are ready. Investigators and forensic accountants are prepared to review the documents the moment they are produced. If evidence of fraud or misrepresentation appears, the pace of the investigation will accelerate rapidly. And this is why the next 72 hours matter so much. This is the moment where delay ends, where appeals run out, where the law draws a hard line and demands an answer. Donald Trump must now decide whether to comply with the Supreme Court or defy it. There is no third option, no procedural escape, no further appeal. What happens next will shape not only Trump's legal future, but also the credibility of the American legal system itself. The clock is ticking. The deadline is absolute. And the consequences are real.